questions like, were their decisions colored by certain things, and who got the benefit of the doubt, you know, in that courtroom?
Do you think that hip hop culture was on trial as much as Sean Combs was?
Not all. Look, if I didn't say anything, you would interpret it as the hip hop is fine with his behaviors. There's no one else being vocal. So you would look at it and just say, because that mind your business, or let me not say nothing about nothing, or those things, it would allow the entire culture to register as if they're for that.
I think there's so many fucking powerful people that are on those lists. There's so many powerful people that went and partied. Air quotes, partied. And how many of them went to the Diddy parties? Have you been paying attention to the trial?
Oh, yeah.
Trial.
Joe Rogan and 50 Cent just popped off again. And this time, it's wild. After everything that went down with Diddy, these two are stirring up the pot by hinting that more big-time names might be next to face the heat. People are saying this storm is only getting started, and the way Rogan and 50 are talking, it sounds like the chaos is about to spread. So here's what's up. Diddy's doing time. 4 years behind bars, handed down by Judge Aaron Subramanian. Yeah, that's on 2 smaller charges out of the 5 he was facing. But make no mistake, this case is far from wrapped up. And now Joe Rogan and 50 Cent are out here dropping hints and calling out some of the same folks who used to roll tight with Diddy. They're saying a few of them might be next under the spotlight. The first name they threw out? Meek Mill. And honestly, no one's even surprised. From the very start, Meek was riding close with Diddy, allegedly one of his top favorites. Back when Diddy's name was still shining bright, Meek was right there, grinning, partying, and soaking up the fame. But the second those charges hit and the RICO storm started brewing, Meek tried to dip fast, acting like he barely even knew the guy. Remember when he hopped on X and started talking big? He was saying things like, "My voice is so powerful as a black man from the ghetto worldwide. They want it gone. I'm a real king, straight out the trenches, under control of no human." Powerful words, no doubt, but the streets read it differently. People thought he was panicking, trying to separate himself before the situation got even messier. And when Diddy finally got hit with that 4-year sentence, Meek didn't back down. He pushed even harder to make it clear he had nothing to do with any of it. Now folks are watching closely to see if that's really the truth. Because the way things are unfolding, no one's safe from the drama. Meek tried to tell everyone that those private mansion party rumors were just lies, that the blogs twisted his name into scandals he knew nothing about. But the problem? The memories were too loud. Anyone who remembers that wild 27th birthday party Diddy threw for him in Vegas knows exactly why people keep giving him the side eye. Diddy went all out. He rented out the Parisian Palace for $25,000 just for the mansion, made sure Meek was front and center in matching outfits, had dramatic entrances, lingerie dancers, and that crazy sushi setup laid out on a naked model. It was over the top. Pure madness. By the time the night ended, it looked like a movie gone wrong. Smashed bottles, blood on the sheets, and even some white powder scattered around. And then came that audio leak that set the entire internet on fire. The one people claimed caught Meek and Diddy in the act. Things went from bad to explosive after that. Meek jumped on the defense fast, said it was fake AI, that bots were out to destroy him. But too many insiders whispered that the recording came from someone inside that very party. Then Jaguar Wright stirred things up even more, claiming that Nicki paid a bodyguard to leak the clip. And when Nicki later joked that Meek loves controversy, people couldn't help but raise eyebrows. One fan even asked, "You think that audio they dropped was real?" Meek snapped. He even offered $100,000 for someone to investigate it, but never showed a single receipt. Then old clips started resurfacing, including those wild moments of Diddy calling Meek daddy, which only made things more uncomfortable. Even Justin chimed in under a post, commenting SMH after Meek tried to deny ever rolling with Diddy by pushing the no Diddy narrative. And now, after months of yelling back and forth online, Meek has switched his story again. He's saying, yeah, he was around the madness, but he didn't touch any of the questionable stuff. He claims he just stayed in his lane and vibed. But fans aren't buying it. They're asking the real question now. Which story does Meek actually want people to believe? the version where he was never there, or the one where he showed up, saw everything, but somehow wasn't part of any.
Everybody was passed out. Yo, Diddy had that man in the room. Look, yes, I put my ear to the fucking door and I brought the phone because Diddy started going in overdrive. I ain't know what the was going on, but I just heard balls slapping against cheeks. I heard struggling to take. I heard being like, yeah, daddy, like when he started all that daddy this and daddy that, and then I heard some hollering and struggling like, yeah, I kept the phone there and I recorded all this.
That they put out was real.
Yeah, that was him. Nicki put that out there. That Nicki recorded that at the freak off in the Calabasas. She been waiting to drop that shit on Meek.
Oh, man.
She just wasn't going to tell nobody it was Diddy. But now that Diddy out there, why not?
Anything. Whatever's really going down, one thing's for sure. The streets are buzzing like crazy. Now that word's spreading that Diddy might be ready to talk, everyone's wondering who's next. And the loudest name people keep whispering, Meek might be the next to take a fall. But that's not even the wildest part, because now Oprah's name just slid into the mix and the whole internet's holding its breath. People are saying she's being linked to Diddy's so-called freak-off circles. And if that sounds unbelievable, the streets swear it lines up with rumors that have been floating around for years. See, Oprah's been spotted with some questionable power players before. That's not new. Folks still remember those cozy photos of her with Harvey Weinstein, long before the world found out what he was really about. People say everybody in Hollywood already knew the energy around that man, but Oprah kept promoting his projects, smiling at events, showing up right next to him. Even when survivors begged for her to speak up, she stayed silent. And that silence made a lot of folks feel like she was protecting the system instead of challenging it. Then there's the whole South Africa school saga, her $40 million legacy project that turned into something darker. Just months after it opened, serious accusations came out from multiple girls saying things went horribly wrong behind the scenes. The dorm matron, Virginia Magobo, even got hit with assault charges. Oprah flew down there, fired people.
But that's not a diss. Meek likes being brought up in that song. I don't know why you lowering his thing. You think you're doing him a favor. He's very, very happy being mentioned, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah?
Yeah?
Okay.
And cried on camera. But critics said the whole story never quite added up. Now those old accusations are crawling back into the spotlight, and whispers are getting louder that Oprah might have known more than she ever admitted. Hollywood insiders are even chiming in. Jaguar Wright and Dr. Umar have both hinted that Oprah holds serious behind-the-scenes power, the kind that keeps people too scared to ever speak against her. Old photos and clips are resurfacing too. Oprah seen chilling with some of the same elite crowd that used to roll with Diddy at those private gatherings. And that's got people asking, how deep do her connections really run? Because just as the internet's trying to process that, another name is catching fire. Stevie J. And if you know the culture, you already know why that has everyone watching real close. Stevie J and Diddy's bond runs way deeper than music. It's history. Stevie wasn't just some guy in the studio. He was part of the blueprint that helped build Bad Boy from the ground up. He produced some of the biggest hits from that golden era. So when the feds stormed Diddy's mansion, Stevie didn't hesitate. He spoke up fast, standing tall and defending Diddy like blood family. But lately, the whispers around Stevie have been getting louder. Word on the street says he was right there at those freak-off events too, caught up in the same wild scenes people can't stop talking about. Lil Rod's lawsuit even name-dropped Stevie directly, claiming he helped organize those nights, lining up women and basically acting like Diddy's right-hand coordinator. That's serious talk, and it's got everyone watching closely. Behind the scenes, there's even talk of a leaked clip floating around that allegedly shows Stevie wrapped up in the madness himself. And while most of the industry's been quietly backing away from Diddy, Stevie's been doing the opposite, still calling Diddy my brother, still showing love publicly like nothing ever happened. Now the streets are asking the real question. Is that loyalty, or is Stevie too deep in to ever walk away? And just when things couldn't get any crazier, another name starts catching fire. Ashton Kutcher. Folks have been side-eyeing him heavy after old clips surfaced, showing him laughing, dancing, and having the time of his life at those same all-white parties that people now say had a whole other side to them. It's got everyone wondering if he knew exactly what kind of scenes he was standing front row for. Then came that awkward Hot Ones interview. When Ashton got asked about those parties, he froze. He stumbled over his words, and that long, tense pause said way more than any PR statement ever could. And let's not forget, fans still remember when he and Mila Kunis wrote glowing letters defending Danny Masterson after he was convicted of serious crimes. That move made people question what kind of circle Ashton's really connected to. After that backlash, he had to step down from his own organization, and right when the dust was settling, rumors started swirling again. This time about Diddy tapes that could drag even more names into the chaos. Now the question burning through every timeline: what was really on those tapes, and did Ashton ever cross the line? He keeps saying he was just a guest, but people aren't buying it. The streets are buzzing, asking how deep Ashton's ties with Diddy actually go. Because the way these names keep connecting, it's starting to look bigger than anyone thought. And speaking of names, the next one shaking up the internet is Naomi Campbell. Her name pops up every single time Diddy and Epstein get mentioned in the same sentence. Word is, both men had private islands. And for years, whispers have never stopped about underage kids allegedly being flown in. Epstein's crimes are public now, but folks are starting to wonder if Diddy's own islands were just as dark. And more importantly, which celebs might have been part of the scene. Naomi's name keeps circling the conversation, and not just as a guest. The talk is that she might have been way more involved than people realized. Some claims say she played a key role in the setup, allegedly luring young people with promises of modeling deals, only for them to be silenced with NDAs and caught up in situations that had nothing to do with the runway. It's chilling stuff, and the streets haven't let it go. One user on X didn't hold back, writing, "She gives me major madam vibes, always has. I think she does it for favors, connections, money, and to keep her career alive. Her name never fades because of who she keeps in her corner." That comment alone went viral, and people couldn't stop talking about it. Then that old interview resurfaced, the one where Naomi admitted she knew Epstein, but tried to play it off like she had no clue about his crimes. Fans didn't buy it for a second. Many said she looked too nervous, too defensive, like she was hiding something. One fan wrote, "She's lying, too fidgety. She knew everything." Another pointed out how wild it was that she once worked with Save the Children, the same charity that just took a massive financial hit over assault-related accusations. And the rumors about Naomi and Diddy, those go way back. Some say they even dated in the early 2000s, and she was a regular face at his infamous freak-off parties. But the second his scandal started catching fire, she scrubbed him from her Instagram like he never existed. Still, fans haven't forgotten that moment when Diddy flew all the way to London with Young Miami just to surprise Naomi with a cake after she earned her doctorate. That gesture had people wondering, were they still close behind the scenes, or was he just trying to keep her on his good side? The streets are watching every move. Now with Naomi's name back in the spotlight, things are spinning out even more. Because just when people thought the chaos couldn't stretch any further, boom, new whispers hit about Jay-Z being next on the radar. Yeah, the streets are saying his name's starting to float around Diddy's circle, and fans are losing it. See, Jay and Diddy go way back, two kings of hip-hop who always showed each other love in public. But now, those old clips of them popping champagne together at private events are being replayed frame by frame, like detectives trying to catch a clue. Folks are pointing out how Jay always managed to keep his name clean while standing shoulder to shoulder with some of the most controversial power players in the game. And people are starting to question, was that strategy, or was he just lucky? A few blogs even claim that Jay's name popped up in quiet talks connected to business dealings that might tie back to some of Diddy's companies now under investigation. There's no proof yet, but that hasn't stopped social media from running wild. One post racked up 1 million views in hours with a user writing, "Jay-Z too quiet. Every time there's smoke, he disappears until it blows over." Others are saying his silence is what keeps him untouchable, the master of dodging scandals. But here's where it gets real messy. Insiders claim that Beyoncé warned Jay to stay far away from Diddy once the first raids happened. Word is, she didn't want any connection left between them, especially after the freak-off stories went public. One alleged source even said she told him, "Protect the legacy. Don't go down with the ship." Now that line's been spreading across the net like wildfire, and fans are debating if it's real or just another piece of internet fiction. Still, some old photos resurfaced of Beyoncé and Diddy hanging out years ago at his Miami mansion, and that's only added more fuel to the chatter. People are zooming in on every picture, every hand gesture, every look, trying to spot something deeper. It's turning into a full-on digital investigation, with fans connecting dots that might not even be there. But the timing's got everyone suspicious. And while Jay and Beyoncé stay quiet, Diddy's camp is reportedly panicking. Insiders claim more footage from private parties might still be out there, footage that could shake the industry if it ever drops. People are already guessing which names might show up next, and the list keeps growing by the hour. From Meek to Oprah to Naomi, and now Jay. It's starting to feel like no one's off limits anymore. Because in this Hollywood storm, silence is starting to look a lot like guilt, and the streets are screaming for answers. And just when the internet thought it had seen it all, another name jumps right into the fire. Kim Kardashian. Yep, her name's suddenly being tossed into this Diddy storm, and it's got every gossip page going insane. Word is, Kim might have attended more than a few of those exclusive parties back in the early 2000s, back when Diddy's circle was tight and everyone wanted in. People are digging up old photos of her smiling next to Diddy and Cassie, trying to figure out just how close she really was to that scene. Now, before anyone gets it twisted, Kim hasn't been accused of anything, but the way her name keeps popping up got fans connecting dots like detectives on overdrive. One blogger even dropped a video claiming there's footage of Kim at one of those infamous yacht parties, surrounded by Diddy's crew, and said, "If those tapes ever drop, a lot of brands gonna go quiet overnight." That post alone sent social media into a meltdown. Then someone brought up her ex, Kanye West, and things got even wilder. Fans started remembering how Kanye used to hint about Hollywood circles he didn't trust, claiming he'd seen stuff at parties that would blow people's minds. Some are now saying maybe those comments weren't random after all. In one old clip, Kanye even said, "There's levels to this game, and some people don't even know what room they're standing in." People are now replaying that line like it was a hidden message. Meanwhile, Kim's been acting extra quiet, posting about her law work and family life, but avoiding any talk connected to Diddy. Still, the whispers keep growing. Folks are saying she's in full damage control mode, making sure none of her current deals take a hit if this whole situation explodes bigger. And you know the internet, once it smells mystery, it doesn't let go easy. Adding to the chaos, an old photo from 2015 just resurfaced. Kim, Diddy, and French Montana at a private dinner in LA, all smiles and champagne glasses raised. It looked innocent back then, but now everyone's reading between the lines. Some users even joked, "At this point, who wasn't at Diddy's parties?" And the wildest part? There are now rumors that an A-list reality star, initials KK, could be mentioned in one of the sealed files the feds are still reviewing from Diddy's raid. Nothing confirmed yet, but the mere hint of it has fans in a frenzy. So here's where things stand. Meek's panicking, Oprah's being questioned, Naomi's under fire, and now Kim's name is being whispered through the madness. It's like a Hollywood domino effect, and no one knows who's gonna tip over next. The streets are wide awake, and every new leak has people yelling one thing: this story's far from done. Just when the timeline thought the chaos couldn't spread any further, boom! Another name crashes into the storm: Justin Bieber. The internet is going wild because his connection to Diddy has been public for years, but now people are rewatching all those old clips with a whole new lens. Folks are saying what once looked like mentorship now feels like something else entirely, and social media detectives are digging deep for the truth. Back in the early 2000s, Diddy was often seen with a young Justin everywhere. Red carpets, award shows, studio sessions, even random hangouts at his mansion. Diddy once told the media, "He's like my little brother. I see myself in him." At the time, it sounded harmless. But now that all these stories about Diddy's private life are coming out, people are starting to ask real questions about what was really happening behind the scenes. Clips have resurfaced of Diddy joking that Bieber owed him time after they didn't hang out for a year, and it's making the internet uneasy. One user reposted it saying, "This didn't age well at all." Others pointed out how Diddy gifted Justin expensive cars, watches, and trips back then, and wondered why he was investing so much into a teenage pop star when they barely worked on music together. Now, rumors are swirling that investigators might even look into some of those old connections. Not because Bieber did anything wrong, but because he was around during key years when Diddy's empire was allegedly running wild. People are demanding that Justin's camp clear the air before the internet fills in the blanks itself. Meanwhile, Justin's been keeping an extremely low profile. No statements, no comments, just quiet church visits and rare appearances with Hailey. But even Hailey's recent cryptic post saying, "peace over pressure," had fans convinced she was hinting at something deeper. Some even claim that Justin has been trying to distance himself from Diddy for years, but stayed silent to avoid stirring drama. Then there's that 2020 clip making rounds again. Diddy FaceTiming Justin during a live stream and saying, "I'm still coming for that time you owe me." Back then, people laughed it off. Now, the comments are filled with side eyes and people saying the vibe feels off. And the chatter won't stop there. Insiders are now teasing that Diddy's upcoming court developments could drag in names from music and Hollywood, including people who thought they were long out of the picture. The speculation's nonstop, and everyone's bracing for more bombshells. From Meek to Oprah, Naomi to Kim, and now Bieber. Every new reveal's got the internet asking one thing louder than ever. Who's really next? Because at this point, every old friendship, every party photo, and every clip from the past looks like a clue in a growing web of secrets that's finally unraveling. So the streets are asking the real question. If the feds keep digging, just how tangled is Naomi and Diddy's whole situation? Every new name that drops makes the story heavier, and now everyone's wondering, who's really innocent and who's been hiding in plain sight this whole time? The silence from some of these celebs is getting louder by the minute, and fans can feel that the next wave of truth is about to hit hard. How many more are gonna fall before the whole puzzle finally comes together? Drop your thoughts in the comments, cause this story is nowhere near finished. And hey, don't forget to hit that like button, smash subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss the next bombshell update. See you in the next one. It's about to get even crazier.